Liam Parker had never believed in ghost stories. He worked as a night security guard in a quiet town where nothing unusual ever happened. His routine rarely changed. Every evening he returned home, made coffee, watched television, and prepared for another night shift. Everything remained normal until the night he noticed the man. It happened at exactly 3:33 a.m. Unable to sleep, Liam walked into his kitchen and glanced through the front window. A figure stood across the street. At first he assumed it was a neighbor, but something felt wrong. The man wasn't walking. He wasn't looking around. He wasn't using a phone. He simply stood motionless beneath a streetlight, watching Liam's house. Liam frowned. The street was empty. No cars. No pedestrians. Just the stranger. After several minutes, Liam returned to bed. The following night, he woke again at exactly 3:33 a.m. Curious, he looked outside. The man was there, standing in the exact same place, wearing the exact same dark coat, completely motionless. Liam watched for nearly 10 minutes. The stranger never moved a single muscle. Then Liam noticed something disturbing. The man wasn't blinking. Even from a distance, his eyes appeared fixed, unmoving, unnaturally wide. A cold feeling settled in Liam's stomach. The next day, he convinced himself he was imagining things. Yet when 3:33 a.m. arrived again, the man returned. Night after night. Always the same position. Always the same stare. Always without blinking. After a week, Liam became obsessed. He began recording videos through the window, studying every frame, searching for movement. But there was none. Hours of footage showed the stranger standing perfectly still, like a statue, like a photograph. Then, while reviewing one recording, Liam discovered something terrifying. For a fraction of a second, the stranger had moved. Not his body, his smile. The corners of his mouth had lifted ever so slightly, as though he knew Liam was watching, and as though he enjoyed it. That night, Liam locked every door in his house. For the first time in years, he felt afraid of the darkness outside. By the 8th night, Liam's fear had turned into curiosity. He wanted answers. At exactly 3:33 a.m., he rushed to the window. The streetlight glowed. The road remained empty. But the man was gone. Liam stared in disbelief. After 7 nights, the stranger had finally disappeared. Relief flooded through him. Maybe it was over. Maybe the nightmare had ended. He laughed nervously and stepped away from the window. Then he heard it. Breathing. Slow. Heavy. Directly behind him. Liam froze. Every muscle in his body locked. The sound continued. Closer. Closer. Someone was standing inside the house. He turned around. Nothing. The room was empty. The breathing stopped. Shaken, Liam searched every room. Closets. Bathrooms. The basement. Everything appeared normal. Yet an overwhelming feeling remained. He was no longer alone. Minutes later, he entered the hallway. That was when he noticed the mirror. The antique mirror hanging on the wall reflected the corridor behind him. At first, everything seemed normal. Then his blood turned cold. A second figure stood in the reflection. Tall, thin, motionless. The man from across the street, standing only a few feet behind him. Liam spun around. Nobody was there. The hallway was empty. When he looked back at the mirror, the figure was gone. His heart pounded. He stumbled backward. Suddenly, every light inside the house flickered. The temperature dropped. Then a whisper echoed through the darkness. A single sentence. I finally got closer. The lights immediately returned to normal. Silence filled the house once more. But Liam knew what he had seen. The man was no longer outside. Somehow, he had entered. From that night forward, strange things began happening. Liam caught glimpses of the man everywhere. In mirrors, in dark television screens, in reflections on windows. Always watching, always standing still, and always without blinking. Sleep became impossible. Every time Liam closed his eyes, he dreamed of endless darkness. In every dream, the man stood waiting, watching, smiling. One evening, Liam decided to investigate. He searched old newspapers and local records. After hours of digging, he found something astonishing. Nearly 40 years earlier, a man named Edward Hale had disappeared from the town. Witnesses claimed Edward suffered from a strange condition. According to reports, he had become obsessed with the idea that something was watching him. He stopped sleeping, stopped leaving his house. Eventually, he vanished. His body was never found. The final photograph taken before his disappearance showed something unusual. Edward's eyes were completely open, and according to those who knew him, He hadn't blinked for 3 days. Liam stared at the photograph. It was the same face, the same man, the same terrifying smile. Suddenly, a loud crack echoed from the hallway. The mirror. Liam rushed toward it. The glass had shattered. Across the broken surface appeared words written from the inside. "Now it's your turn." The lights went out. Darkness swallowed the house. Then Liam heard footsteps approaching. Slow, steady, getting closer. He reached for his phone flashlight. The beam illuminated the hallway. Empty, silent, nothing there. Then he noticed the mirror. Although broken, it still reflected the room. And within the reflection stood the man, directly behind him, smiling wider than ever before. Liam turned. The hallway was empty. But when he looked back at the shattered mirror, his own reflection was gone. Only the man remained, watching, waiting, without blinking. And according to local legends, if you ever wake up at exactly 3:33 a.m. and see a motionless figure outside your window, don't stare for too long. Because once he notices you watching, he starts getting closer.